time for the Q&A. So, there is still time to submit questions to our speakers today using the chat window. Once again, to see that chat window, you'll need to press the Launch Full Experience button and then select the Q&A tab to type in your question. We're going to get to questions momentarily, but the first thing I would like to do here is give the sixth and final of the secret words, which is payment. P-A-Y-M-E-N-T, payment, is secret word number 6. So there you have them, all 6 of those secret words. Now, attendees, you're going to need all 6 to be filled into the survey we're sending you, and then this way you get your credit. So please jot down payment as secret word number 6. Now, before I start asking specific questions, we did have one attendee who just wrote in 2 words, process strategy. Now, I know we had a couple of slides on process, slides 23 and 24, so I would direct the attendee to look at those slides in your information packet. But if anybody on the panel would just like to quickly summarize process strategy for the benefit of this attendee, we'd appreciate that. Okay, since there wasn't a specific question, we will just direct that person to the slides. What we're going to do now is direct some questions with a question mark on it, and we're going to direct it to certain members of the panel, and once they respond, anybody else could weigh in should they choose. So this is for Pranav and Rick. The question is, I work for a private company, and we've learned we now have until January 2021 to be FASB 842 compliant. And based on your experience, can we implement a new lease accounting software solution in this amount of time, inclusive of the updated business processes that will be required as a result? Pranav, Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. That's a good one. And I think Kristen spoke to this briefly in that, the deadlines got extended not to extend the start dates, but really to provide ample time for the work to get done. So it's kind of our opinion that the extended date for private companies does provide enough time, and we would wholeheartedly recommend that companies do look to replace existing non-compliant systems as part of that.
Thank you very much. Anybody else care to weigh in on that? Okay, let's go to Kristen then. I have a question for you about project management. What have been some of the keys to success in project management, Kristen?
Yeah, I think some of the keys to success that we've seen is a detailed project plan and a regular cadence of meeting to say, where are we, what tasks have we done, and where are we behind? I think the challenge, and I think someone alluded to it on the call, is a lot of the people from the client side that are working on these projects are not dedicated resources. This is kind of their above and beyond job, where they may have 50% of their time. And it's so easy when you're busy to get wrapped up in a variety of different competing priorities, that cadence of a weekly meeting or biweekly or whatever it is right for your organization to keep you on task is really critical.
Okay, any other thoughts regarding that from other panel members?
This is Catherine. I would just also add that I think we've seen a lot of success when there's a lot of different groups at the table initially, and that there's more of like a holistic approach to it. A lot of times, because this is driven by accounting, pretty much only the accounting teams at the table, but it's more successful and there's more buy-in when right from the beginning, real estate team is there, the tax team is there, just anyone that might be affected by this is at the table.
Okay, panel, we have a fresh question from one of our attendees, and it is there software as a service that would now be capitalized as a result of the lease accounting standard that would have been an operational cost before? Any ideas on that?
Yeah, this is Kristen. Software is scoped out of the lease accounting standard, so it would not be considered a lease.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. Let's go back now and let's ask another question of Pranav and Rick. Given your organization has likely seen many different companies implementing FASB 842, which common problems have you seen and how can they be avoided?
So I'll grab this one, and I think some of these we've talked about. Obviously, getting data right from the start is a common one. So that I think we've covered sufficiently on this call. I think some of the other areas that are unanticipated, I think, Kristen's point, it always takes longer than you expect. So I think make sure that the time is planned accordingly. I think the other piece that I would mention is, really kind of understand kind of what the end result is supposed to be it journal entries, be it disclosure reporting, really understand that kind of early on and make sure that all of the different kind of use cases are sufficiently tested. So there's no surprises, not only how your application would work in conjunction with your business processes, but it also gives you an opportunity to kind of walk through your business processes, kind of understand kind of day in the life scenarios, and ultimately document, the steps that need to be taken by the company.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's turn back now to Kristen McLaughlin. Kristen, regarding project management, what have been some of the so-called keys to success?
I mean, I think regular cadence and, as Catherine indicated earlier, kind of involving that entire team. If you can, we need to stop thinking of this as an accounting exercise, and it's an enterprise exercise. So getting the right team involved in a regular cadence of meeting would be ideal.
Okay, thank you for that response. Does anybody have any other questions about keys to success in project management, or we can move on to another question? All right, I have another question then for Pranav and Rick, and it's this. We currently have a lease administration system. However, it does not handle the new FASB accounting. Would you recommend simply implementing a lease accounting solution to keep our existing system in place and integrate the two solutions, or would you recommend a replacement of this system?
Yeah, I think this one we feel pretty strongly about, and that would be that if you don't fully replace your lease system to have a single cohesive system to handle both the administration and the accounting, it creates, for lack of a better word, an integration nightmare. So it becomes very difficult to keep the data synchronized between the two systems. The systems aren't perhaps built and designed and structured the same way. I think the opportunities that kind of have already passed, some organizations have kind of chosen that path simply because they were a public company and they ran out of time. And I think now we're seeing some interest in the marketplace for all those kind of, I'll say, Band-Aid solutions. I'll look at this in a more comprehensive way. It's our position that, a single system is definitely the way to go.